Hello everyone, it is Mock My Ride again. I am back at the ICBC Lougheed location where a lot of people go do their road tests, and it's a wonderful location. I've been trained by some of the people that work in this location. They are all fantastic and excellent trainers. I just wanted to give a really quick thank you to everyone who's subscribed to the channel. The videos are starting to get a lot more play, and I'm getting a lot of students reaching out, asking for help with their road tests. And it's just a really good feeling because I left ICBC after numerous car accidents and I didn't really know what to do with this skill. And now I've kind of I've finally found what I want to do to help the world, and this is kind of one of those things. Plus I get to swear like a trucker and nobody really cares. Anyways, so just one little side note is I actually watched some of my videos I use YouTube Premium, but I watched them outside of YouTube Premium on somebody else's account, and I actually saw some ads for driving schools. So I just want to let you know really quickly, I am not affiliated with any driving school. So any driving school that you see as an advertisement on YouTube is not me. I don't know who they are. If you know, it's all random, right? So I don't know who they are. They're not affiliated. Don't use them as a learning step from my videos. Fair? So if you are a driving school, because I have been approached by some driving schools to help people with their road testing, basically the very first thing we will do in your car is go on a road test, and I will mark you, see what you know. If you refuse, I will not sponsor you, God forbid, because I don't want to send students to you if you can't drive the road test. Speaking of which, what do we got here? She's missing a shoulder check. That's not good. Okay. All right. So this is the MST. I wanted to do another video of the MST because the first one was kind of crappy, and I actually want to go for a ride downtown, but it's so sunny. Look at that life-giving orb that I am just looking at the sun the entire time, and it is not fun. Let's see if she does an A4. So anyways, I'm gonna mark this person as they're doing their test. Anyway, so this is the MST. It is a very easy test if you're a solid slow rider. If you're not a solid slow rider, I highly suggest, oh, she's missing an A4, so she'll get marked on that on her road test. So whoever driving school this is, no bueno. I'll go for the nitty gritty. I pick apart everyone's driving because I want you to be successful. Oh yeah. Oh, and she's looking at her camera. Yeah, don't do that. When you're doing a backup with ICBC, you got to look behind you, not at your camera. Anyways, here's the MST. MST consists of multiple circuits. You have it's basically two parts, but you do each part twice. So the first part, the slow part, let's call it, is basically slow riding, maneuverability around your motorcycle, doing a U-turn, riding in a straight line. Oh my god, oh, that's a B11 right there. Riding in a straight line, walking speed, so using your clutch and throttle to work together. No, maybe I wouldn't give her a B11. And driving in a straight line, basically. So we're gonna walk the course. Now, I just ordered a chin mount on my motorcycle, and I've got the sticker on it, but I need to wait 24 hours. So unfortunately, I can't ride the mock test, but I will explain everything in nitty-gritty detail. And the reason why I'm doing it is because I didn't really like the first video. It was gray skies, and you can really see the lines, and I was out of breath because I was so fat. And yeah, it was just, I'd like to do another one. Okay, so we're gonna walk the entire test. We're gonna get some exercise here. All right, so as you can see, my motorcycle is parked exactly where your motorcycle will be parked when you do your MST. One thing I should let you know, the MST is a free test. So you can go to any ICBC location that offers the road test or the MST, and you can book it there. It's a free test. It's mandatory that you do it when you get your L. So when you pass your knowledge test, you have to do your MST. And you have like, I think, 90 days to do it. But your license expires after a year, something around like that. Basically, the point is as soon as you get your learners, book your MST, and do not let your driver's license expire before your road test. Because if you let it expire, so if you wait the year and your learner's license expires, you have to redo the knowledge test and another MST. So my suggestion to all the students out there riding for class 6, class 8, as soon as your knowledge test is done, book your MST, book your road test immediately. All right, so on your MST, your bike is going to be parked like this. Your examiner is going to be with you. And then the first step is what they're going to do before anything even happens. They're going to walk your bike. Here we go, nice long walk. It's a beautiful day. It's warm. It's 25 degrees outside right now. So very important when you're walking your motorcycle, do not drop your bike. If you drop your bike, hello sir. If you drop your bike at any portion of this test, even this walk up, you fail your test. So don't do it. So basically what's going to happen is you are going to park your motorcycle. I'm going to show you really quickly. So there's 4 red square boxes, and this is like a box triangle, and that X there is very important. You are going to park your front tire. I'm about to drop my camera. You are going to park your front tire on this X, and then what you're going to do is you're going to move, as per the driver examiner, you're going to move your rear tire so it's on that X. And then what you're going to do is locking your wheel all the way to the left and keeping it locked. You're going to walk your motorcycle, always keeping your wheel locked to the left, up until about here-ish. And as you can see, there's a yellow, there's a green, there's a blue, and there's a red. And basically what that's doing is you're making the U-turn box. So here we have our box here. Now keep in mind there's going to be cones here, so it's not going to be these, it's going to be cones, but ICBC marks them because it's a pain in the ass to measure everything. But here's another box. Here's another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. And there will be two cones around here. Basically, that locking to the left is determining the turning radius of your motorcycle. And basically what happens is you'll stop your front tire, it'll get close to one of these lines, and then they will give you another, I believe it's 1.5 meters or it's either a meter or 1.5 meters extra to make the turn. So like, let's see here, if you're on a Grom, or look, that Vespa, if you're on a Vespa, you're probably going to be like around here. If you're on a Harley Davidson, or surprise, surprise, a crotch rocket, which actually has a huge turning radius, you're probably going to be around the red or even the white ones. So basically what it is your turning radius of your motorcycle. Now, very important, this is a little tip. You need to be dead on that, in the middle of that X. Your rear tire has to be on. So if you're a little bit to the if you're about here, your rear tire is here, the DE is not going to fix it. You're cutting yourself short for or it's either one of these sides. You're cutting yourself short for the U-turn. So you're actually making it difficult for yourself. So the best tip I can give for this is front tire in the middle of that X, and then rear tire on the middle of that X. Also, secondly, is if you have your steering wheel locked all the way to the left, the DE is going to be here watching how you make the turn. And if you unlock the steering, so if you go a little bit to the right or you straighten out a little bit, you have to turn around and do the whole thing again. So, which I don't know, I have a V-Strom 800. It's not a light bike. It takes effort to turn all the way around and then come back. So try to get it in the middle of that X first time. Okay, so turning radius is done. They're going to measure your bike. It's going to be about here, 1.5 meters, and then that's where your 2 cones. You're going to see 2 cones around here. That's going to be the closing of your box for the U-turn. So that's basically the room that you have to make that U-turn. Some tips about the U-turn. What you can do, actually, you know what? We're gonna worry about that later. So U-turn is done. Now what they're gonna do is you can walk it, you can ride it, you can do whatever you want in order to get your bike back onto that position. The only thing you cannot do is drop your motorcycle. Like I said before, if you drop your motorcycle in any part of this test, you fail, it's over. All right, so we're back here to the starting position. And what the DE is gonna say is like, okay, he's gonna give you the instructions. If you have any questions, please ask at this point. There is no dumb question. They'll help you out as best as they can, but they will not give you the answer. That's funnily enough, that's my introduction for how I conducted my road tests. Nostalgia. Anyways, so what you're gonna do is on their mark, they are going to get you to slow ride. This is gonna be walking speed. So 5-ish kilometers an hour. You're using your clutch and throttle, so they wanna see both hands working, so to speak. And you're just gonna walk here, walk here, walk here. And then we're approaching that X box. We're approaching the X box. Your front tire is gonna stop right here. And again, remember, you wanna stop on that, in the middle of that X. Otherwise, you're screwing yourself. And then what's gonna happen is you're gonna do your U-turn. So you stop, the examiner is gonna be like, okay, we're going to make our U-turn. Once you're done the U-turn, you're going to slalom through the cones. Let's talk about that really quickly because I forgot. So there's gonna be the first cone here. After you do your U-turn, there's gonna be a cone here. And then depending on what your bike was, those colors there are the same colors here, is gonna be your slalom. So I don't know, we'll use white for example. So slalom, in and out, in and out, in and out. And then when you're done your last slalom, you stop your motorcycle. Making sure that whatever the cone is on, you cross the last cone. Otherwise you get marks, possibly a blown maneuver. So you definitely wanna make sure that you have crossed the last cone, so you can even stop here is fine too. Okay, so we've done our slow ride. Beep, 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 beep. Let me get some exercise here. We've done our slow ride. We're at the X. D is gonna be like, okay, we're gonna make a U-turn, and then I want you to slalom through all the cones. Do not miss any of them. When you cross the last cone, stop your motorcycle. Do you have any questions? If you don't have anything, then they're like, okay, go. And they're gonna be monitoring your U-turn. And then through your slalom. It's like 25 degrees and I'm all gear all the time kind of person. And my jeans are so hot inside right now. All right, so we stopped our motorcycle here. We've crossed the last cone, everything's peachy. What they're gonna, now this is the second part of the slow ride, is you are going to position your motorcycle where that arrow is in between this gate, let's call it, facing the ICBC building. And basically we're just adding another step to the circuit. We're going to make a left turn through this gate, the 2 red marks, and then directly into our slow ride, stopping when we get to that X. So let's do it together. However you position your motorcycle is up to you. You can walk it, you can ride it, you can drag it, well, maybe not drag it, but you can do whatever you want to get into this position. If you ride it, like let's say for example you're making your ride, I'm gonna make engine noises, vroom, 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 and you stop here, so you've blown the gate, go back, fix it. Because if you don't fix it and you stop here and like, okay, DE, let's do this, look at that sharp turn that you have to make into that gate. It's gonna eat some marks, if not drop your bike. So fix it, go back. You don't have to do an A4 or a 360 check or anything like that. They're not marking this. So you just go back to the gate. All right, so we're gonna make a left turn into the gate. We are not gonna stop our motorcycle. Do not stop. We're gonna ride directly into our slow ride. So through that gate, through this gate, into our slow ride. Do, 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 do. And then we are gonna stop when we get to the middle of that X. Vroom, 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 vroom. Stop. DE is gonna be like, okay, we're gonna make another U-turn and then into your slalom, stop when your rear tire crosses the last cone. Do you have any questions? You're gonna be like, no. All right, so U-turn. We're gonna talk about some tips about the U-turn because it's important. We're not gonna stop our motorcycle. We are gonna go into our slalom. Oh my God. You know, it doesn't look that big from the parking lot, but this is actually a considerable walk. All right, tires crossed. Stopped our motorcycle. So that's stage 1 and stage 2. Now we get onto the higher speeds portion of the road test. So instead of pointing our bike that way, if we come over here, here's another arrow. The ICBC really makes it easy. Get out of the way from the sun. There's a red box. Let's just call them gates. Oh, come on. There's another gate here facing that building. And that's how you're going to position your motorcycle for stage 3 of 4, the high speed part. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the U-turn. We have to go to the U-turn again. Freaking exercise. I feel like I'm sweating, like I'm losing weight. Okay. So the aforementioned, you know, if you go over here, you're screwing yourself. If you go over here, you're screwing yourself. Stop on the middle of that X. Now, there's going to be a lineup of cones here. You can't cross them, otherwise you start getting some marks. So the best strategy that I've come up with is to actually shoot for the cone. So you're kind of going out this way, and then you're giving yourself a little bit more room to make that turn. And then we're going to start making our U-turn, which should, let's say we're using our red, which should line you up to the green. So you're giving yourself a ton of extra room. Well, I tell students when I used to work as a motorcycle instructor, use the space given to you. So don't try to, be a hero or, try to do the turn as quickly as humanly possible. Go a nice speed, speed here. A little bit of throttle, cut the throttle, start making the turn, rear brake if you need it to complete the turn. A lot of riders do this. They'll start here from the X and they will just start making the turn as big as humanly possible. But look at all the space that you've used up. you're here, the cone's over there, we have a problem. You've tried to cut the turn, in which you will not make the turn at this point. And what will usually happen with test anxieties being a thing, is you'll start looking at the cones. And guess what happens when you start looking at the cones? You will go to the cones. And you don't want to go to the cones. And when you get to that cone and you're still in a turn, and if you grab that front brake, your bike will fall and you will fail your test. And let's say you have a Harley Davidson, a big ass motorcycle. The DE is not going to help you pick it up. You have to pick it up. Maybe somebody else doing their test could help you, but it's not the DE's job to pick up your motorcycle. It's very embarrassing. It's not a pleasant experience. Anyways, so use the box. Use that whole box. Not crossing any cones. Keep your head and eyes up, looking where you want to go. So another tip that I do is I'm going to put the camera side by side to my face so you can see it. So I'm making my turn, I'm looking that way, I'm looking that way, I'm looking that way, and then I start making my turn, so now I start looking at the DE. Making the turn. Look where you want to go. It's Motorcycle 101. And then once the U-turn is complete, you do your slalom, you stop. So that's the big thing with the U-turn. A lot of people are not successful at it. You can make mistakes. You just make sure you don't repeat those mistakes. So the aforementioned drop is an instant fail. But if you cross a cone, it's a couple of marks depending on how many tires have crossed it. So you could still be okay. It's just make sure you don't do it again. So you can make mistakes on the first part. It's just making sure that if you're going to get the mistakes, get them here. Don't get them there where it'll potentially constitute a fail. So be careful with that. Anything else about the U-turn? Don't cut. Use all the box. Don't grab front brake on a turn. God, it's awful. It's very, very bad. Sup, G? Don't grab the front brake. Counter steer if you want to, which is basically like tilting the bike over but leaning away from the turn. My best advice for doing these U-turns is take your motorcycle to a parking lot, like even the ICBC one, and just go as tight as U-turns as possible. That's the best advice I can give for anybody trying to do the MST. Go to a parking lot, practice your face off. And do not look down. Do not look down. Do not look at the cones. It's bad. Okay, U-turn's done. We are on the high-speed portion of it. Now I'm going to tell you straight up, do this entire test, the slow stuff, the high-speed stuff, do it all in first gear. Do not start shifting on your high speed. I'm 300 pounds. I can do the whole test on a Grom in first gear. If you don't know what a Grom is a 125cc, tiny motorcycle. I look ridiculous on it, but you can do it. That's a V-Strom 800. I can do that in first gear. I could do it on a Hayabusa in first gear. It doesn't matter. Just do the whole test in first gear. And the reason I say that, when you go into ICBC to check in, they give you the marking sheet. If you look at the marking sheet, there's an entire column dedicated, I think it's SH, called shifting. So if you start messing around with the gears, those are marks that you will get that you do not want. And I'm not saying, you can go do the whole test in third gear. Just anytime you stop your motorcycle, you have to be in first gear. Otherwise, the examiner is going to be like, hey, what gear are you in? And you're like, I don't know. And then, so boom, you get your shifting marks. So the whole test, first gear. All right, so we are pointed, where's my thingy? We are pointed that way. The high-speed portion is basically get your motorcycle to 25-ish kilometers an hour, and then It's called an emergency brake, but I don't like saying emergency anything, because that has a tendency to get students and examinees to slam on their brakes, which is not what this is for. You want to stop safely from 25-ish kilometers an hour. Now, you're probably hearing me saying 25-ish kilometers an hour. Well, mock my ride, isn't it 30? Yes, it is 30 kilometers an hour, but the DE doesn't have a radar gun being like, all right, here we go. Oh, she's 17. We know what 30 looks like. We know what 25 looks like. We know what 20 looks like. If you can keep it about 25-ish, you're gonna be fine. So if you do the whole thing in 10 kilometers an hour, oh, is that a motorcycle? Maybe I can get them to do the road, the MST here. If you do it at 10, they're gonna give you a blown maneuver and be like, that was not 30-ish kilometers an hour. So they know, they're not idiots, but they don't have a radar gun. All right, so right turn from this box, you're gonna stop. This is where the interview comes in. They're gonna be like, hey, I need you to, what we're gonna do is the high speed portion. So you're gonna make a right turn through this box, this gate. Once you've passed this gate, you are gonna increase your speed to quote unquote 30/25-ish kilometers an hour. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna slow down because you don't wanna hit the curb there and die. And you're gonna make a big U-turn. You're gonna stay, I believe it's within the cones on the back, which it has to be because the curb's right there. And then what you're gonna do, so 25-ish kilometers an hour up here, slow down, make a U-turn. We're going, that guy didn't do a 360 check either. That's a problem. Wow, you guys are getting really terrible marks. And then you're gonna make your right turn through this box. So we're gonna go through this gate, and then it's gonna be 25-ish kilometers an hour again, going downhill, where the DE is gonna be, where are we? We're gonna go through this gate. I'm trying to remember my assessment officer things. So we're gonna go through this gate here. The DE is gonna be standing around this area with their hand up. When their hand drops, you need to stop your motorcycle as fast and as safely as possible. Before that, you know what, I'll just give you the answer. So there's these marks mean something. So hand comes up here, around here, that box there, there's a red box there. Hand comes up here. You have up to here to stop. So I think it's 7 meters. How is it? So that's your hand. No, sorry. Your hand will drop around here, and then you most likely are going to pass this red box, and you have to stop by this red box. I think it's 4 meters. I had somebody on Reddit being like, hey, do they do MSTs in the rain? They sure do. That is where you need to stop your motorcycle in the rain. So it's, I believe it's 7 to 10 meters. So you have some time to stop. If you stop within that mark, you're good. Making sure you go 25-ish kilometers an hour. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna set up for stage 4, which is, you know, stage 2, we had this turn, we made the left turn. Stage 4 is just another stage 3. So you basically just get to here, the DE is gonna be like, okay, 25-ish up, 25-ish down through the gate, 25-ish down, stop when my hand drops. Do you have any questions? You're like, oh, I don't. All right. So right turn through that gate, 25-ish kilometers an hour up. Make your U-turn, 25-ish kilometers an hour down. The hand's gonna be up. When that hand drops, you stop your motorcycle as fast and as safely as possible. Atlas Driving School. Oh, let's mark this guy. Now, Vancouver Worst Drivers, who I freaking love, is one of their sponsors. So let's see what this guy's doing. Well, let's see what we got here. Prepping for the U-turn, that's good. Oh, that's the A4 a little too late, man. You got to do that. You got to do the 360 check before your vehicle moves, not during. You'll get the mark there. People. Okay. Tips on the 30-ish. So again, do the whole test in first gear. If possible, have a bike that has ABS. So there's a lot of driving schools, riding schools out there that, dude, you're doing the 360 check at the wrong time. The car's going forward and you're doing a 360 check. Why? So I can't turn it off. I can't drive with my family. Let's see what he's got here. Okay, he's missing the 360 check. Dude, left and right, not just left. You get your A4. Anyways. All right. So tips, 30-ish kilometers an hour. If your bike has ABS, like I said earlier, a couple of schools that will remain nameless have Groms that have no ABS on them. So when you slam your front brake, your rear tire or your front tire skids. Rear tire skid is okay, you get marks. Front tire skid is a fail. If your butt comes off your seat at any point of the road test while the motorcycle is in motion, you fail your road test. So very important. Skidding front tire is a fail. Doing a brakie or a wheelie, so any of the tires come up, that's another instant fail. That generally happens on this high-speed portion where they slam on their front brake, and even if it's an inch or a centimeter, that rear tire comes up, it's a fail. Keep your butt on the seat. How are my brake pads? Keep your butt on the seat. If you drop your bike, it's bad. So there's really no tips on the 30 that I can give you. Just keep your head and eyes up. Stop your motorcycle in first gear. Better yet, don't even put it in second gear. Yeah, I think that's about it. So, like I said, I can't ride the test right now because of my chin mount. I don't want it to fall, and that's bad. So, really quickly, thank you everyone for liking. Subscribing. I didn't think, I only have 115 subscribers, but it's starting to grow every day and I'm starting to get a lot of views. A lot of people are reaching out to me, asking me to go on a road test with them. I should be a little bit more, what's the word? I don't know, but I should be a little bit more upfront with my prices. My prices are extremely high because, like the Atlas driving school, I don't have insurance. So we'd be basically going in your car and I'd be giving up my life for you. So that's why I charge absorbent fees, because I don't want to go on these road tests, but I want to help you. And that's what these videos are for. The mock tests for motorcycle, they start at $150 per test, which I've been told I'm actually undercutting the industry by $50, which is great because I don't like the industry. So yeah, I'm cool with those. Those are for motorcycles only, and I can do traffic classes. If you haven't been riding for a long time and you're a little iffy about it, I'll lead you. It'll be $100. I'll lead you for a couple hours. We'll go to, I don't know, Grouse or something, just so you get some time on the saddle and get your confidence up a little bit more. So again, really thank you for spreading my channel to your friends. I get a lot of people on Reddit asking me questions, same as Discord. I really appreciate it because I love doing this, but I can't stand ICBC and I really do not like driving schools. So thank you so much. This is Mock My Ride. Have a wonderful night.